All right, Scott, so you are ready to go. I made you host again, and Miss Nancy will be here with you for the hour. If you need anything, you know where to find me. I hope you have a good class.
That's great. Thank you much, Melissa. Take
Of course.
care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Good morning. And don't be shy. I'd love to see you on camera.
No, man, you need a haircut.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
Do you want mics on or mics off?
I will probably have them on, keep them off until people have questions, and then they can unmute themselves. Okay. A lot of people flowing in. I'll give it another minute. Okay. Hope everybody's weekend is off to a good start. Okay, I'll go ahead and get us started. Maybe a couple of stragglers, but hopefully not too many. Welcome. I'm glad you're spending a Saturday morning with me. This class is a lot of fun. It's just walking you through some photo apps that you can download to your smartphone. I'll also touch on a couple that you can use on a desktop too, but this is just meant to show you what some fun you can have with the photos you take to sort of dress them up, add some special effects, things like that. All right, let me get that out and open up my screen. So my colleague Nancy is here. She will be helping me track any questions that drop into the chat. You're welcome to do that. I'll also be stopping for questions as well. And we can unmute when you do have a question. Yeah, so I'll get us started. So a little about me, just so you know what you're getting into. I live in Silver Spring, Maryland. That is right outside of Washington, D.C. And in addition to leading Get Set Up classes, I'm a freelance writer, editor, and photographer. I've been an avid photographer for more than 20 years, and I really enjoy portrait and nature photography. And I really love being here on Get Set Up. I enjoy the interactive learning and love the community building mission. So always a pleasure. And on Get Set Up, we learn from each other. Ideally, we can see everybody on camera. That creates more of a community spirit and interactivity. If you're comfortable with that, we'd love to see you. If you would like a recording of the class, you can email us at help@getsetup.io and just make sure to identify the title of the class and the date so we send you the right recording, but we can send that to you. If you're joining us by live stream, welcome. Glad that you're watching. I encourage you to register for a class in the future. Then you can interact with the other learners, and also a little bit more with the guide. And lastly, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any specific products. So anything I bring up today, any of the apps or the app manufacturers, that are not meant to be advertisements, just some things that I've stumbled across over time I thought might be fun for you. So what we'll do today is learn about some top-rated mobile photo apps, and we'll go through some demos on using them for various treatments to your pics, and we'll make simple fixes and adjustments to your photos as well. We'll show you how to do that. If there's anything else really specific you wanted to learn today, there may be an app for that, so feel free to drop that in the chat, and when I break for some questions, maybe I'll dig that up for you if I know of an app that will do what you're running. So what do these photo apps do? They can do everything from making just basic improvements and enhancements to a photo, things like enriching the color a little bit, or the sharpness, and the contrast. They, believe it or not, can remove unwanted objects out of a photo. Some do it better than others, but you can actually erase anything from a fire hydrant, and in some cases even a person from a photo. They can create collages. They can add different types of special effects, make a photo into some kind of pop art. And yeah, so it really sky's the limit on these. One thing though to be careful of, I know when I teach this class, a lot of times as soon as I name an app, people start to want to download it, and then they'll get a message saying start your free trial. Those are upsells, and they can be kind of confusing. Sometimes they lead you into thinking that the only way you can use the app is if you sign up for a free trial of their premium version or their pro version. Everything I'm going to show you today, with the exception of one app, is free, although most of them do have a pro or premium version, and they'll try to get you to buy that. It's usually a subscription or a one-time expense, but you do not have to do that. I don't use any of the paid versions. And if you look for an X anywhere on the screen when something like that pops up, just a little tiny X, just press on that with your thumb or finger, and that will go away and you'll get into the app. So watch out for those free trials and renewable subscriptions. If you're ever shopping for apps and you do sign up for a free trial on one that is a paid app, just remember that it automatically starts charging you after that free trial is up. So if you use it, decide you're not really into it, and you forget about it, you're going to see a bill on your iCloud account or iTunes account, I guess, or Google Play account, or whatever Android devices use. And also with Apple customers, if you're using an iPhone or an iPad, sometimes their blanket term when you download an app is in-app purchase. That doesn't necessarily mean you're buying something. That's, again, just a blanket term they use. It could just be a free download. So I'm going to show you a few apps today that do different things. A lot of these are have very specific functions. One of them is called Filter Tune, and I'll provide the names of all of these so when I send out the class notes, so you can find these. One of them is called Filter Tune, and it just adds some different looks and feel, sort of like a different type of mood to your photos. I'll walk you through what that looks like. Retouch. This is the one app that is not free that I'm going to tell you about, but it's very inexpensive. It's like $2, and it will remove objects from your photo. Focus is something that provides kind of that nice blurry background for portraits or even close-ups or something like that. And PixArt is a lot of fun. It's very multi-purpose. It has a lot of special effects. You can touch up portraits, faces, things like that. And I'll walk through that as well. And then there are a couple of apps that can work on both a desktop and a mobile device. And I'll show you those real quickly too, as well. So I am going to open up my phone screen and we'll just start playing around here. Okay, so let's first open up Filter Tune. So that's going to look like this. And I'm just going to select a photo from my photo collection here. I can just open up my, if I can find it here. Nope, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'll go down here and I'll look at all my recent photos. And I'm going to pick one that I want to put a filter on. So I'm going to open this up. And you'll see here, all of a sudden, I have all these selections here. And these are a few that I've tried out. And it adds a different look to the photo like this. And if I go into Discover, when I open that up, I have all kinds of options here. So depending on what kind of look I want to give this, you know, I could turn it into a sunset, something like that. When I'm done, if I pick one that I like, I just hit save. And it's in my photo library. So your phone itself will come with some filters that you can use when you're editing a photo, just with what's built into your phone. But this just expands that repertoire dramatically. And you can also just edit a photo real easily. I can play with the vibrance here or the contrast. So you can just do basic edits on here as well. Increase the color intensity or the saturation. Okay. So that's pretty simple to use. And can really dress up a landscape or even a portrait or something like that. Any questions on that one?
Did you say to download these now or to wait?
If you want to download them and give them a try, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
And as far as the original photo, do you still have that original photo?
Yeah.
And then there would be a second photo that's different.
Right, right. Yeah, it will save, it will not overwrite what the original. So you could always go back and play around again and do something different with it. Okay, so let's talk about removing an object from a photo. Again, this one is called Touch Retouch. It looks like this. So it just says Retouch. But when you open it up, it says Touch Retouch. This is the one that allows you to just take something out of a photo. So I am going to go and look at a photo that got botched for some reason, and I want to fix it. So here is an example. I have this photo of my dog, and I think I can get the, yeah. Okay, now it's a little more visible. I have this photo of my dog. And my neighbor's dog kind of crept into the photo, but I really like this and I would like to get the neighbor's dog out of there. So can I do that? Yeah. If I open up this picture in this app, I can go to object removal right here. So I press my thumb or finger on that and it opens up this brush here. And if I go up here, I just run my finger across my screen here, all over what I want to get out of there. I go over to the side here and hit go, and it's gone. So very simple way to get something out of there. There's also this ball up here. Maybe I want to take that out as well. And it goes. I probably need to be a little more delicate on that one. If I don't like the result, I can always just go up here to the return arrow and start all over again. So if I really need to be precise, whoops, I didn't want to do that. If I really need to be precise, I can blow this up a little bit just by zooming in. And I'll do this again. And then that ball disappears. And there we go. There's my new photo without that other dog in there.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, I've had some people tell me that, you know, they've had friends they've had a falling out with and they have pictures or, you know, ex significant others, things like that, that they want to erase from a picture. And sometimes erasing people is a little more challenging and it depends on the photo. And also, there are a couple of free versions of this, of a object eraser tool that I don't think are very good. This one is worth the $2 to me. It does the best job of any I've seen. And I can always just go back and start all over again. So I'm going to be nice to this dog and leave him in there. So again, that's touch, retouch. So a lot of the phones today, if you're taking a picture with a smartphone, they do come with a portrait mode. And that portrait mode can be really nice because it gives that soft background, kind of blurry. And that is not, that you're not limited to a portrait to do that. You can do that with close-ups and things like that. But let me show you what that's going to look like if you don't happen to take a picture with the portrait mode. This app is called Focus. And let's pretend that I took a photo and I just took it. Well, we're not even pretending. I'm going to go into my library of apps here. If I can find my.
Scott,
Yes.
hello Scott. Are you sharing your screen?
I'm sorry. I am not. I thought I was, but I forgot. So thank you for the heads up. Okay, so let's go in here. And I've got a photo that I took a while back of, if I can find it here. Well, I'm not seeing the one I want to use, so I will use another one. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. This is a picture I took a while back. Here's an example of where something will pop up that you can just X out. But you'll see here in this photo, this was just a snapshot I took with my phone of my niece. And I want to blur out this background and give it kind of a nice effect. So I'm gonna just press on her face and start to move this up. And do you notice what happens there? This all gets nice and blurry. I get these nice blurry light speckles. That's a really nice effect to get. And so if you take a photo without that portrait effect that some phones have, or if your phone just simply doesn't have that, you can always use this app to get that. Okay. So that's FOCOS. And I use this app purely for this. Anything else I'm going to do, because they do have some things that are behind a paywall, some other functions, but I may make a change in this and then I'll go to another app and make a different change to the same photo. So when you want to save it, you just go up to this little arrow right here and you save a copy. You can overwrite the original if you want on this one. And you can share it directly to WhatsApp or text it to somebody, things like that. Okay. Questions on that one? You want me to do a run through on that one again? No? Okay. Okay.
You don't use any more of the things at the bottom besides.
You know, I really don't. And you'll see here, you've got a lock on some of these, which means that it's the paid version or the pro version of this. But if you want to, you can go in and make it a little more vivid, which I've never thought did a whole lot to the photo. And then when you open this up, you get into a bunch of other functions here that are behind a paywall. So I really just use it for this.
Okay.
And what beyond that, it gets a little complicated. You can kind of play around with that. See, you can go in here and tilt it a little bit if you want and crop it and so forth. But I don't really mess with any of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's get into PixArt. This one is a lot of fun. All right, so I open this one up and the first thing I see is a 3-day free trial, right? Okay, this is an example of what I was talking about. I don't want their premium version. I can use this app. It's fooling me into thinking that I have to start a trial of something, but you see this little X up in the corner here. I'm just going to press on that and I am in the app. Now this, they'll ask you to set up an account. They do that so that it's kind of a sharing app as well. So people will create different things with their photos and then share them on here just to show off or to get some feedback. But you'll see down here this plus sign. And if you open that up, you'll get into your own photo library. So I am going to go ahead and open up mine. And I have, okay, I think this is it. Yeah, okay. So here we have a portrait. And there are several things you can do here. First of all, it has this gold section. That is the premium section. That is, if I pressed that free trial, I would be able to access these. But then after 3 days, I'd start getting charged for it. I'm not going to worry about that. There are some basic editing tools here, like cropping it, things like that. But let's go over and do a retouch on this, because this comes in really handy with portraits. So you'll see here that this model has some blemishes on her face. So maybe we want to get rid of those. So you can scroll around here and you'll see some options. And I'm going to click on Blemish Fix. And I can either click auto to see what that will do. That takes out quite a bit. And if it's not enough, I can go to manual and I can do a little bit more here. And I probably want to, yeah. It's a little clumsy, but I just want to show you how it works. So I apply that, and I can also go in here and smooth out her skin a little bit more. As you'll see here, I can either do that with this auto mode, or I can go to manual and I can do just run over the areas I want to smooth out. And I have really fixed up the face. Can also play with the skin tone a little bit if just by running over. Yeah. And if I really want to have some fun, I can go into here and I can change her eye color. So maybe we're going to make her eyes green. Don't want to make it look too weird, so I'll lower that a little bit, and now she has green eyes. And I can even change her hair color. And I've got a bunch of options here. And people these days are coloring their hair with all kinds of colors, so you could have quite a few options here. And you can play with the intensity of it. This is all adjustable. So there you go. I have totally altered this. Okay. So that's just playing around with the portrait a little bit. There is also this section called effects, or FX, down here. And I'm gonna play around with that a little bit. This is where it gets into sort of a pop art type thing. So you have all these options down here. I usually just go straight to magic, which is right here. And I just start testing things out a little bit by clicking on each one of these to see what kind of effect I might want to get. And you'll notice here, it does things like turn it into a sketch. If you press on the square that you're on, you get some editing options. And you can just keep trying each of these out to find an effect you want. There you, yeah. And again, you can just adjust the intensity like that. So you can actually turn a photo into a painting. You also have the option, if you go down here, to pop art, and there are a few here that are behind that paywall, but if you keep going, you can just get this duotone effect to the photo. You can do something with a little bit of a gradient, and keep going. You can do something like this, give it sort of a Andy Warhol type approach. So this one is very fun, and you can spend an entire rainy afternoon just playing around with this.
May I ask a question, Scott?
Sure, Shirley.
I'm just wondering if any of these, will they allow you to name them if you have a specific spot that you want to remember where this happened?
Not that I know of. In some cases, when you edit these, it may keep the metadata of the photo, which means that it's keeping the date and time and possibly the location, if you have your location services turned on your phone, of where that photo was taken. But sometimes when you're working in these, it's creating a whole new image. And so what it's doing is basically recasting that metadata into when you made this change, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this one is one of my favorites. This is my demo, so I'm going back to the original here, but and again, whenever you want to download a edit you've made, to just go here and it saves it to your camera roll. Okay, there are all kinds of other things to experiment with on this one, so you can have a good time with that. Now I'll show you a couple of the apps that, oh, I'm sorry, Nancy had a question on this. This one again is called PixArt. So and I think there might be a couple of apps that carry this name, but you'll want to look for this sort of mauve and blue look here.
Also, I have a question. Was this the one that you said opens up and has a screen where you see other people's pictures?
Yeah, yeah.
So do they have access to your pictures?
Only if you share it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. You do not have to do that, but if you want to post it to, it's the equivalent of some of those other photo sharing sites like Flickr and things like that, where you can upload a photo and control who sees it. So,
Scott, is this available both on the Apple and on my computer?
yeah.
Thank you.
Not on your computer, but it's available for mobile. I'm going to
Okay.
show you a couple right now that are available for both mobile and desktop.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's look at a couple of those. The first one I'm going to show you is a free app, although it does have a pro version, and I have actually used it. I pay for the Photor Pro. This is FOTOR, because I like it sometimes better than Photoshop, which Photoshop you do have to pay for, but this really allows you to do some things pretty quickly. It's a little easier and intuitive than what Photoshop is. So let's say you want to edit a photo, you can just open it up. And I'm going to take this and open it up. Okay, this is when it opens up here, I can just do a one tap enhance. That will just do a quick enhancement of this landscape. Or I can scroll down here and just test different ones of these out to see what kind of effect it might give.
Now, is this on the free one too?
Yeah, this is on the free version. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you can kind of take your pick on these. I'm just going to go with that auto enhance. Beyond that, you can go up here to do your basic edits like cropping it or straightening it out, things like that. If I clicked here, I can angle it a little more. It's pretty straight, so I wouldn't have to do that on this one necessarily. And then I can go into some other basic adjustments here. And let's say I just want to make this a little more colorful. I could do that if I felt like it needed it. I could, vibrance sort of enriches the photo and the color and everything else without really distorting it. And maybe I want to make, raise the contrast a little bit, do something like that. So any kind of basic edits you want to try out. And then it has these different effects. And some of these are pro versions that I've downloaded. But if you look here, you've got the classic. And these are filters, like what I showed you on that filter tune mobile app. So you can just try some of these out. Sometimes it gives it a retro look, or add sort of a red hue to it or something like that. And all of that is adjustable. So you can play with the intensity. And you've got this solar, which adds some light leaks to it, which sometimes can be kind of interesting. These are a little extreme, but I can adjust those a little bit. So again, a lot you can play around with this one. This is available both for a desktop and mobile again. And I believe it's available if you're using it on a mobile for both Androids and iPhones. Whoops. And again, that's FOTOR. When you're done editing, you just hit export. And it will save it with a little tag at the end, FOTOR, FOTOR again. That means that it's creating a whole new image. Again, it's not overriding your original. So you keep your original. Okay. Any questions on that one? I can show you then another one that is online only. So let me open that up. This is called Pixel R. Pixeler, I don't know how you pronounce it, but when you go here, it is an easy graphic design tool. And you can open an image straight from your desktop and drop that in. And I've got a photo that I can now edit. So I can add another image in there and sort of blend it together, which is a little difficult, but I can just go here to just the basic adjustments. Again, this has a auto enhance and a pop, which just like makes the colors pop a little bit more. And here you've got toning, so you can change the tone a little bit if you want. And it even allows you to compare what you did before when you hit compare, or what you had before. And you can add text over this if you want. And I think this is all customizable, so you could, that's a premium, so forget that. And we'll just put hello. And I can go in here and change that, I think, to hi. And from there, I can play with the color and even change the font if I want. Maybe I want to go with something different. Some of these are premium versions, but plenty that aren't. So anything you do on here will stay here. You have to deliberately go in and delete it if you don't want it anymore. So any projects you're working on this site, you can walk away if you want to take a break from it and come back later and it'll still be here. So very handy. You also are able to make collages on here. If you see templates, now I can't find the collages, but they are. Let me see. Yeah, I'm having trouble finding those, but there is a function in here for collages. As you can see here, I created one. Yeah. So even within that, you can play around with the frames a little bit. And no, that just added another photo in there. Anyway, this one's worth playing around with as well. And I'll stop for some questions. Anything else I can answer?
How are those when you print them? Are they a good quality print?
Yeah, although a lot will depend on the quality of the original photo. If you've taken a photo and it's, you know, it's high resolution, this isn't going to change the resolution too much.
Okay.
So I can show you, we've got time, so I can show you a couple of other fun ones. I'm going to share my phone screen again. And we'll walk through.
Sir,
Yes.
the Pixlr, you say it will stay there, but we can take it out of there and put it back in our photos, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can download it straight from there too. Yeah.
I assume that, but
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right. Sorry about that. This is being a little ornery on me. Let me do this again. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. Okay, great. All right, so maybe it would be fun to erase a background and create something kind of different. So this is called Photo Room. And that's available on both apps, and you can see all the different things you can do here. So I'm going to start a photo, and I'm just going to take this one, I think. And you'll notice there that all of a sudden I've got some of these options I can use. to create a little illustration like this, or I can just simply erase the background. If you look for this checker here, checkered background, that means that I have, that this is all transparent. So that is now gone. And if I want to add a background, I can go in and choose from my own collection. Or I can go back and they should allow me to, well, there we go. Or they have their own collection that you can use. So maybe I just want to put her next to a brick wall. I can do that. So it allows you to basically erase and take out that, you know, the one little glitch here is that you do get this little watermark here. You could always then open it up in that Retouch app and remove it probably. And I think if you pay for a pro version, you can get it without the watermark. But the other thing you can do here is just create fun little images. Let me go back to the, do things like this. Well, that's not.
Scott, are you able to like crop the photo and that would remove the watermark?
You could do that, yes. Yeah. I don't know if there's a cropping tool right in here. Well, let's see. Doesn't look like it. There's not a cropping tool right in here, but you could save this and open it up in another app and crop that out.
Scott,
Yes.
what is the name of this app?
Again, this is called Photo Room.
Okay.
So it's
Thank
right
you.
up here. This is what it'll look like. And then the last one I'll show you is called Pop Pick. Let me see if I can find that. It will do something kind of fun with your, and I can use this. I can take a picture. Let's say I'm going to take this. And you see what happened there? It turned it into a 3D image. So I can either take a picture directly from here, or I can open up my photo library and do something like this. Now, it will, the one drawback with this one is it will only save the photo in this app, although you can share it. If you go here, it allows you to share it on Facebook. But that's about it, but it's kind of fun to play with. Tried this one with my nephew. Sometimes it's better than others. This one worked out pretty well. Okay. There we go. So any other things that you, and again, this is Pop Pick, it's all one word. And so look for that in the App Store. I'll show you what the icon looks like. It's right down here. Okay. And I will mention a few others here. I've got Pop Pick listed here, but there's also And I just showed Photo Room. We had plenty of time there. There is an app called LD that allows you to add kind of weather effects to a photo, like sun flares or fog or rain. That is free to download. It stands for lens distortion, so you might need to search lens distortion in the App Store to find it. And then Photo Collage allows you to create collages directly from your smartphone as well. So any other questions I can answer? Anybody eager to start playing around with some of these?
Yeah, I am. I was wondering, you're gonna give us all this in our notes, right?
Yeah, I will have every one of these that I've gone over listed in the notes. And I will also have a little description of what each one of those do, just so you've got that reminder. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Whoops. I do want to tell you about a couple of other classes we have. Each one is devoted to a specific mobile app. There is a class called Snapseed, Edit and Enhance Your Photos. That is a very all-around nice photo editor that is kind of the granddaddy of them all. So you can look for that, and also look for the class that will be coming up, I think in the next week or so. And then another one called Add Fun to Your Pictures with Free Photoshop Mobile Apps. There are some free Photoshop's mobile version is free, and it actually has a few different types of apps that you can download and play around with. So unlike the Photoshop desktop version that you have to pay for, this gives you some free options. And I'll just let you know about some other classes coming up. We have a class on, these are all kind of on the artistic end, recycled crafts, making the most of what you already have. Zoom virtual backgrounds for beginners. And then we have one on finding and using free photos online if you ever need some free stock photography for any reason. My next classes, I have one coming up at 11 this morning, Eastern time, on nature photography. We have a whole bundle of different nature photography classes. This one focuses on flowers and close-ups in nature. And Monday, I am doing an introduction to Photoshop, and this would be the desktop version of Photoshop. If you are interested in purchasing or subscribing to the desktop version and you want a little tutorial on getting started with it, I invite you to join me for that one. And I also want to tell you about a new weekly event we're starting on Get Set Up. It is the photo challenge of the week. So if you're really enthusiastic about photography, we will get together every week. There'll be a different theme. I'll tell you the first one in a minute, but we share our photos with other learners, get some feedback, advice, and we'll also vote for a winning image. And the week one is spring flowers, celebrate spring. So you can submit your favorite picture, one that you've taken yourself, from your garden, out in nature, at a park, and even anything that you might have put in your home, like a bouquet or something like that. All you need to do is submit your pictures to Scott the Guide, and that's a dash between the three words, at getsetup.io. So they'll go into that collection, and then I will have them all ready to share with everybody when we meet. And our opening event is Friday, May 7th at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So this should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great way to share your love for photography and also show some of the work you've done. And I will include a link to the announcement on the Get Set Up website where you can register for this. Okay, and I'll be sending you some class notes, and I will include all those apps I mentioned. If you like this class and you want to recommend it to a friend, you can do that by sharing it on Facebook or just emailing the friend directly from here. You also will be getting some class suggestions, other class suggestions. Here you can view the entire Get Set Up class schedule, and here you can give feedback. We have a 5-star system, rating system for the class and the guides. You can add a comment about what you liked about the class, what you didn't like about the class, what you think might improve it. And you also, in this last field down here, can let us know about other classes you'd like to see us offer. If there's something you're wanting to learn and you don't see it on our class schedule, let us know, because we are continuously adding new courses to the menu. You also, in this new feature on the website, can invite a friend to take a class with you. If you register for a class, you can just hit this click here area, and you can share that either via Facebook, WhatsApp, or via email. So if you got a friend you think might enjoy doing a class with you, feel free to do that. And in wrapping up, I want to also let you know that we can help you create an interest group if you want to do that on Get Set Up. We have a lot of interest groups where people get together to talk about a shared a hobby or a topic of interest. We've got people getting together to talk about music, things like that. And if you are a member of an organization and you think that it would be nice for that organization or senior living community or other types of government agencies that you're working for, if you want to let us know about that, we do pursue partnerships to provide classes for the members of different organizations. So all of this you can do, including suggesting a new class, not just on the feedback form, and also requesting a recording of the session with this email, help@getsetup.io. Okay, and if anybody does need some help booking a class, I'll stay on for a few minutes afterward to help walk you through that. Okay.
Can I ask you a thing?
Yeah.
At the beginning, you were talking about how to get the free apps, and that was basically ignore when they say temporary is what I caught. That I was late getting into class. That you basically are saying you just go around that.
Yeah, just look for the little X in the corner. All the apps except for that one that I showed you are free, but you may, when you open, after you've downloaded it, when you open it up, it may say something like start your free trial. Just look for an X, excuse me, and tap on that and it'll get you into the app. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, well, thank you, folks. Enjoyed spending the hour with you. I hope to see you at another class soon.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Scott. Very
This
good.
was great.
Okay. Take care,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good.
Bye, Scott.
Hi, Nancy. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to close out. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Scott. Bye-bye.